In an ancient time, when a terrible evil threatens the land, only one man can save the world.
Say what? Get out of here.
What? What's the meaning of this?
Oh, we'll just take off that broken record.
I say.
Here, hold my earrings while I take this monster down. I've got your back, darling. We just might burn down this town. Oh no, oh yeah. When you're up against a challenge and you need a helping hand, we've got an arsenal of fireballs, steel stilettos, and a cat. Oh yeah.
Hi, and welcome to Here Hold My Earrings. My name is Al, and I'm your DM today. With me are Henrietta, Yvonne, Laura, Daria, and Sophie. Henrietta?
Hi, I'm Henriette. I'm from Norway and I play a Kalstar druid named Dalin.
Yvonne?
Hi, I'm Yvonne from Canada, and I play Cracker, a half-orc barbarian.
Laura?
Hi, I'm Laura. I'm from Germany, and I'm playing Violet, a tiefling wizard.
Daria?
Hi, I'm Daria. I'm from Poland, and I play a tiefling sorcerer named Zenis.
And Sophie?
Hi, I'm Sophie. I'm from Wales, and I play a human wizard named Charlotte.
Excellent. Who's doing the recap again?
Me, Yvonne. All right.
Alright.
So we open up in the cavern, and those Githyankies are looking at us, and we're looking at them, and I'm looking at my sword, and they're looking at my sword. And Dylan sends me a message about getting more swords, and they remind us that they can hear us thinking, so that didn't go so well. And they had come back for the Rakma, which is the payment, the reputation of surviving warrior, and to his brother who was slain by the filth, and his sword defiled by me wielding it. I'm not that dirty, but whatever. Suggests an eye for an eye. And then they tell us that they're going to slay several of our party members, or they can serve for 15 years and then come back later. And then they tell us they'll give us 60 seconds to decide which of us will be taken into service or sacrifice. And we try to buy time by talking a lot. And we talk some more and say that the kid from what was our kill because, it ate the brain of our friend. And they say, too long. Your time is up. Return that sword. It's time to die. And so Cracker just jumps in and tries to, fight for that sword and really cuts up one of the blinged up Githyankies, and 3 of them step up to battle her. And Dalin goes down on the next attack as 6 of them surround Byleth and Dalin. And smart Zenis says, just take the dwarfs and your sword. And Charlotte makes Kringle sleep and Sticks fighting off the spell. And Ashley sees what's what and blows out the remaining dwarves. So Cracker drops the sword, cries into her hair, blowing her nose into her hair. And the Githyankies take the dwarfs and they leave with a little statement. They say, next time you're in a battle with a mind flayer, remember that a deal made with the Githyanki is a deal you can rely on. And Zenis shouts out, sorry, Crux. And he gets zipped into the portal after his fellow dwarfs. So that's the end of that. That's the end of that for the dwarfs. But at least they did say that they would take care of them. So it's not like they're gone to be sacrificed in lava or anything. So Ashley said, well, that could have been handled a whole lot better. And we kind of agree, but we kind of knew what was coming, so. And Cracker and Zenis say that we should really get our original mission underway. And they decide they can help us close the portal. So that's our next step. And we need to rest up, so we relight the fire, cremate their brothers, and say a prayer for those taken by the demons. And we decide to talk to a fire elemental. Dylan sits up and decides that that's what she's going to do, to send a message to Kasuth for Ashley. And they're not too sure what's going to happen. So Dylan says, let's just do this. So they start the fire, and Dylan summons a hot chick. And Dylan asks if she can get her message to Kasuth. And she says she could try. And we're dealing with some troubles here, and we'd like you to communicate to Kasuth, she says. Talk to her. She speaks your language. And you can discuss what the message is. She's more knowledgeable than I. And the creature tells us that she is an azure. And they sit between fire and earth, creatures of lava. Not a direct subject of Kasuth, but they can reach someone nearby. And there's a lot of conversation between, and then Ashley comes down and starts speaking in Infernal, and it sounds kind of like the big bellows of a big I'm trying to think the word for it. What do you use bellows on? You know, those big things you hammer out swords. Oh yeah, swords, those things that are my favorite things. And they talk about finding Megara, and she decides to go ahead to find Megara, asks for gems, and Delin offers a pearl, and she's kind of interested because she's never seen one before, but it bursts into flame in her hands. But it was an interesting experience, so she accepts that as payment, which is good. And we know that her name is Lavinia. And then she disappears. And we have a long rest while the Duergar are holding vigil to say goodbye to their brothers. And meanwhile, Byleth learns hello from Zenise. And Delin rests, I rest. I think everyone's just like chilling. And then Delin pulls out a map. And we have all the things on the map, like Gondelgrim and Menzelbranson and Graven Hollow, Blingden Stone, Neverlight Grove, Gracklestug. And there's a section off the corner, a few arrows pointing to Neverlight Grove. So I got a scratchy throat. And there's indications of the lava we're walking around. So you kind of get, there's an idea of a path. So we have some ideas. So Delin puts the map away and decides she's pretending where to go because it isn't super clear. And we go over the whole caved-in entrance, and they talk about a Zorn and the copper she gave him. And Zorns can travel through the earth, Ashley says, so let's give it a try. There's nothing to lose. So we climb over the rubble to discover there's actually space above the doorway, and we find a quick left turn with room for one person to go through at a time. And we rock, paper, scissors it, and Delin goes first. So Delin's going deeper as she travels, and everyone remarks at how deep it is. It's like really, really deep, and the Duergar are like, whoa, we're really going down. And we end up at this ridiculous castle. It's like so weird. We're underground, and there's this huge castle as if it's above ground, and it just looks so silly. And Zenise knocks on the door, and this thing gets closer. And Steve says, "Isn't that a beholder? It kills you with its eyes." And Delin says, "Nah, these are really friendly." And Charlotte tries to give it some rations and throws her rations at the eye, and it explodes. And Charlotte, Delin, and Byleth are covered in little mushrooms, and everyone's feeling pretty unwell. Except for me. Cracker's all right. The little eyes on the stalk look more like mushroom and fungi. And then Cracker's totally freaked out and can't move any closer. And there's a mouth that projects from the door on the end of an arm, and in Elvish it says, "Hello, I'm Vizeran Devere, and I'm not home right now. Please leave a message for my return. Beware the spectator." He gets a bit ornery. As soon as Zenise hears this, she pukes when she hears former Archmage. Cracker cowers in the corner, chucking badly, throwing javelins and missing and drawing its attention, and Zappadoodle gets a little fried, and everyone starts firing crossbows. The eye shouts, "Stop, stop, I can't believe you killed Wilson." And we all stop and we talk to it. He's like, "Do you have an appointment?" And we all said, "Yeah, of course we do." And he's like, "Do you have proof?" And Zenise says, "Well, I call him Master Devere." And then she pulls out the business card. And Zenise calls Steve, "Hey, come talk to this guy." And Steve says, "Oh, really? You think that everyone who has an eye is a friend with everyone with an eye?" Sound familiar? Horn people? So Eyeball Boy says, "It's more about being lonely. I missed the whole thing. I was supposed to have," well, this is kind of embarrassing. "I was supposed to have reproduced by now." And little fungi fall to the ground. "I missed my chance. I'll never find a mate now." And Zenise throws up. "I am a beholderkin. I should be spending time with creatures of my kind so I can create more of us." Zenise throws up. Eyeball says, "Hey, that's not nice." Zenise says, "Well, I don't like that talk about reproducing and children." And the Eyeball says, "You probably had a mother and father." Zenise throws up. Eyeball says he's joining a dating app called Blinder. Beauty is in the eye of the spectator. And we convince him to just create another one. And he does. And it's horrible. And he's in love. The end. All I got.
That was awesome. Anybody else have anything they wanted to add? No?
You don't. It was perfect.
Crickets. Yeah, that was great. Yeah, Zanice has got a real phobia when it comes to anything related to children, huh?
And
And
former
parents.
archmates.
And archmages.
Former.
Former archmages. Yeah, current archmages might be okay, but when it's the former, then it becomes a problem.
Yeah, creating portals.
Anything that brings something through another opening.
Boy. There it is.
Zanice's throw up.
Like bonus action throw up. Bonus action vomit. Every turn. Yeah, maybe you should turn into a dragonborn and then your vomit could be, like acidic. So you Zanice and Byleth can sort of transposition their races or something.
Yes. I'm you. You're me. Oh my god.
It's like when two friends share clothes and then they just like swap wardrobe so that they look like they've got a fresh wardrobe without spending anything. Okay. Yeah, cool. So you guys are in the yeah, you're right. I mean, this is ridiculous. Why would anybody need a tower that looks like this? It's got crenellations and everything. It's like there's no trees to cut down for siege weapons. So why would you need a design like this that obviously is meant to hold off siege? But there you have it. What would you like to do now? The spectator is there. You haven't actually spoken to him in that much detail yet. And there is this new terrifying creature, which I'm not sure if any of you have ever seen one before, but it is not to be trifled with. Whereas the spectator, that's what he, assuming the head genders. If you guys can see that. Anybody want to do anything? Say anything? Should we just all take a long rest in real life? A 3-hour long rest.
I think here. Well, he just made it, so I don't want to kill it. I mean, I saw that whole like he's in love thing, or it's in love, and we have to wait for Menzo Branson to come back, or not Menzo Branson. What am I saying? Master Devere to come back.
Dario with the almost sort of subconscious biological response.
I was starting to edit the recording that we did actually with Davir. I was like, oh my god.
It's like if I had €1 for every time he says he was an archmage. This larger, more vicious looking creature floating in space in front of you looks at all of you, and the central eye, the large eye in the middle, starts to pulse, and suddenly it turns into a bright yellow beam and just covers each of you. Did anybody have any active spells? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Well, you feel like oh, right. So, who's got the floating stone? Is it
Yeah, I
Byleth?
do. I also got the what is it? The septum ring of divination.
Right. Well, nothing
Yeah.
physically happens to the septum ring, but the stone, as the light shines and crosses over all of you in turn, the floating stone stops moving and then just drops to the ground and clatters. And it stays there until the eye beam moves past you onto the next person. And at that point, the stone pops back up and starts resuming its orbit around your head.
Huh.
Oh, this is, oh, she's beautiful. Look at all the stalks. Oh, I'm so pleased. I couldn't be a prouder parent.
parent?
Yes.
I thought you searched for someone to mate with.
Well, that's what we tell ourselves, but actually we reproduce asexually. And then he looks at Zenise, expecting Zenise to vomit again.
That's good. That's better.
She has a lot of vomit for somebody her size. I could paralyze her if you want.
No,
No.
thank you.
It would just sort of sedate you until you're ready to stop vomiting.
I
Yeah, so
think I'm
we
good.
don't. Okay, oh, all right. Well, I'm just trying to be helpful. I'm actually I'm supposed to be a guardian of sorts. Um, we really just look. Beholders don't really we. I mean, how would that even work? I mean, do I stick a stalk in something? I mean, what in somebody else's mouth? I mean, that's weird. Uh, you know, I don't know how you soft tissue limbed people do it, but it's quite rude to stick your stalk in somebody else's mouth in my race. In fact, it very rarely happens that you get two of them together in the same room. They just don't get along typically. But that is gorgeous. And then one small beam comes off of one small stalk and just zips across the cavern. And as it lays out this beam of energy, you see this streak of stone being disintegrated in a line. Wow, look at I can't do that. That is awesome. Wow. Wow. What should I call her? It uh mm, uh anybody have suggestions? Um
Ted.
what?
Ted.
Ted?
Yeah.
Call her Ted. Uh okay. Any other suggestions? Let's put a pin in that. And
Zapparella.
Zapparella. Ooh, I like the sound of that. Any other suggestions? Okay, Zapparella it is. Zapparella, I bless thee, and I wish thee well. Go and, well, you're not technically a spectator, so I guess you wouldn't go into service for somebody else. I don't know, go be free. And with that, he with four of the small beams coming from the small little eye stalks on top of his orb. And Zapparella responds by shooting back a beam, and you see flesh go flying. Ow! Holy crap! Wow, get out of here! And Zapparella disappears. Whew! That was, oh my god. Whew, if I had a cigarette, I would smoke it right now. Well, that was something. I did not know I had that in me. Yeah, that was my first time reproducing. I didn't know I didn't know we could do that. Have you seen that before? Can you guys do that? Can you just create stuff by thinking about it?
No.
Violence.
I think about no.
I've seen that with the Kotor. They were gods, so
The
maybe a bit
Kotor are
different.
gods?
No, they can create gods by thinking about them.
They can create gods by thinking about them? Wow. Holy Rotha. How does that so I mean, I just created a beholder. That's pretty impressive, but a god? Wow.
Mhm.
They must never get lonely. I'm Larry, by the way. Yeah, I know. Lonely Larry. I know. I've heard it before. Um, hmm. What were you going to say there, Daria?
Nothing.
Nothing?
No.
Okay. I thought you got cut off a bit there. All right. Well, I suppose so. When the Kotoa create gods, do they control the gods? Do they just let them go? What happens? Did the gods kill them? Why do they create gods? Don't they have gods?
Well, I just, we only saw them creating like, I don't know, like a demigod once, and it definitely destroyed almost everything. And then they created versions of us, but we were nice, so I don't know. Depends.
So kind of like reproduction, like me. Oh, but they created versions of you.
Mhm.
Uh-huh. Right. And what are the Quotar again?
Fish
don't think I've-
people.
Fish people. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And what's a fish?
Something that swims in water normally.
Right. And what's water?
Yeah.
You need to go on. You need to go on a tour.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I would love to go and take a holiday and get away from it all, but obviously work keeps me very busy. I've been here for a couple hundred, close to 100 years, and I'm getting towards the end of my tenure, so hopefully I'll get a chance to do some traveling. But for the most part, I'm dedicated to the job, right? And his little 4 stalks do like the eye stalk equivalent of a fist pump. And just got to really hang in there and put in the hours and the days and the years. And yeah, it's really fulfilling. I really I can float over here and I can patrol over there and I can shoot an I-beam over there. I can lift up a stone. I can even lift up one of your friends, like this guy. Hey, put me down, I don't consent. Sorry.
Can you open that door?
Oh, the door. Yeah, sure. I mean, since you helped with, the reproduction and everything, and then he looks at Zenise. Oh, no, you're not going to vomit now? Okay, all right, fine. I didn't want to interrupt your, upheavals. Yeah, sure, no problem. And then he points one eye stalk at the doorknob and twists it, and then twists it the other way, and then twists it back the other way again, and then you hear a click. There you go. They call it a combination lock. The door swings wide open, and as it does, you see Vizeran Devere standing in the hallway. He is in a bathrobe. He seems to be holding a small plate with what appears to be some food on it. And he's got something tucked in his mouth and that he's partially munching on. And Vizeran says, and he spits it out onto his plate and says, "What? Larry, I thought I told you that I didn't want any visitors." Oh, well, I didn't really know for sure what the deal was. Sometimes you say that and you're like, well, if they're important visitors, okay, look, I'm sorry about that. You can just, look, I'm almost done with my tenure. So, if you want, you can fire me now. I don't care. No, no need to get upset. Fine. Yes. Well, look, sometimes you just need a little me time. It's so busy around here. I can't see everybody who pops in and out. I'd be busy all day. And as he says it, you realize there's probably like 3 inches of dust on the ground. It doesn't look like anybody swept through here or walked on anything in years, other than some smaller footprints, maybe the size of an adolescent elf, for those of you keeping track. Yes, right. May I help you?
Hello, Master Davir.
Oh, right, yes. Technically, the title is Archmage. How do you do?
Mer-
Well, only because of politics. Not based on merit. Anyway, what were your names again?
Zenis.
Zenice, right, yes. And you?
Oh, sorry, Cracker. Sorry, I was fixing my hair.
Yes. Fine hair you've got there. Yes, very good. Yeah. Smells a bit cheesy. And how about you, my fine mustachioed fellow?
I'm Violet. Nice to meet you.
Right. Oh, yes. The hormone replacement therapy is working, I see. Well done. Well done.
I look a bit different.
Yes, well, I don't know about your species. I suppose some species go through a molt period. Although typically after one molts, as I understand it, one gets a bit bigger and just looks basically like a larger version. You seem to have changed substantially. So, well done. Weight loss program, New Year's resolution, presumably.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well, yes, very
I'm
good.
quite proud.
Yeah,
Especially with the hair growth,
Yes, it looks very similar to mine. It's
Yeah, almost like yours.
you'll have to tell me all about your regime, your regimen rather. Yes, and who are you again? You with the purple hair.
I'm Dalin.
Oh, you don't sound very well. Keep your distance, please. We've got a sanitized environment here.
Keep 6 feet.
And he sort of immediately lifts his shirt up to cover the lower half of it. All right. And who are you again in the back?
Hello, my name's Charlotte. It's a pleasure to meet you again.
Oh, right. Yes, of course it is. Of course it is. One does, presumably, someone in your position doesn't get to meet an archmage very often, especially of Menzo Baranzan. It's, the honor's all yours, I'm sure. Are you a wizard? You look like you might be. You two look like you might be wizards.
Now that you mention it,
Well, I did. I have quite a spell book collection. If I mean, I don't suppose you've got anything I haven't got, but if you do, I'd be very happy to trade.
Sure.
you have a library we could peruse.
Well, doesn't just open kimono, as we would say, but if you show me a list of the spells you can cast, I can certainly cross-reference it against my inventory, and we'll see what we can do. Show me yours, and I'll show you mine, I think is the old saying. Always found that a bit seedy, but there you go. It's time worn. So, right. What brings you here?
Closing the portal.
Right. Yes, the portal. Oh, that Grumpf Boehner. I tell you, he's not a fool exactly, but his ambition exceeds his capacity. I would have to tell you honestly that if it hadn't been for his incredibly powerful and influential and meddlesome mother, I don't think he would have even got past the mage level, much less the archmage position. But politics being politics, and my house losing its position as the fourth house to those horrible Do Erdens who those up jumped 10th house. I mean, they birth a renegade son who turns into this incredible force for good, that nasty Drist fellow, who then runs off to the surface to try to live the life of a common wood elf. I don't suppose any of you are wood elves, are you? No, well, we've got one running around here somewhere, but And then on top of that, they tried to take down my house, and they succeed. The bloody cheek! I couldn't believe it. But anyway, there you are, the fortunes of drow life, as it were. I believe, honestly, that karma exists, and one day they too shall receive their comeuppance, especially if my god has anything to say about it. Anyway.
Which god's your god?
Oh, well, I'm so pleased you asked. His name is Tharisden. He's much more powerful than Loth, you see. He's one of the elder gods. He actually created the entire abyss. It's still uncertain or debated whether or not he created all 666 layers, or if he just created the initial several hundred and then a few more layers got added on here and there through the influence of various other celestial beings. But one way or the other, he created that entire set of planes. And, Loth only controls arguably one of them. So, of course, he's got to be much more powerful. But it was ultimately...
How do you-
Darling, don't interrupt, darling. Especially when the Archmage is speaking, there'll be a time for questions later. But he was just so powerful. But unfortunately, if it hadn't been for them discovering my secret and that horrible Groff just blabbing it about all over town, I would have still held my position. But as for you, young lady, with the inability to restrain herself, honestly, Tharisden, Tharizd, Tharisden. There you go. Yes, that's it. Right. Well done. Yes, right. No, with the capital T. Yeah, very good. Yeah, all right. Yeah, very good. Yeah.
Thanks.
Pleasure. Yeah. Although I did note a little bit of sarcasm. That's fine. As an Archmage of Menzoberranzan, one has to have a thick skin, otherwise one can never survive the position. It's not just about magical ability, it's also about politics, as much in life often is. But unfortunately, alas, there's been no sighting of him whatsoever. I've been wondering if maybe there isn't a better alternative, somebody a bit more active, somebody who has something out for Loth who could help us out.
Oh, I know someone.
Oh, yes, you in the back there with the cheese.
Have you ever talked to Caransley?
No. Have you?
Yes.
Really?
Yep. She's hot stuff.
Well, yes. I mean, the portraits of her make her out to be quite attractive and also vicious. She could, if all accounts are accurate, give Loth a run for her money in terms of the sheer cruelty of it. Ooh, that's exciting.
That's her plan.
Oh, right. But how do you know Kiransani? None of you are drow. Even elves. Well, you might be. No, you're not. I sense some elvishness about you. You look and smell a bit like an elf.
Who, me?
No, cheesy face. You with the purple hair in the back. You with all the weird little herbs in your hair and the flowers and things.
Oh, yeah, I used to be a wood elf. Not a very long time ago, but some time ago.
Are you all on hormone replacement therapy or something? What in the devil's name is going on around here?
There was an incident with some acid, and I don't know what happened.
Oh, right. Well, it does do that. I remember having one trip one time, and honestly, I think I lost all of 1312. That whole year is just a psychedelic fugue. Oh, you didn't mean that kind of acid.
No, not that kind
Of course, I would never take acid. No, don't do drugs. Never. No, drugs are very bad indeed. Maybe, a couple of, natural mushrooms and fungi, but, as long as the myconids, they don't mind you taking it from them. Yes. Oh, right. Acid. Yeah. Speaking of which, I haven't done a trip in years. No, well, anyway, yes. So you were saying, Kiaransali, and you're on a. Do you pray to her often? Does she give you blessings? What exactly does this relationship entail? Do you have to sacrifice things to her?
Do you want to explain it, Delenn? I'm not so good at this.
Well, how to explain it? We kind of stumble onto her realm through a portal. And
There's a lot of that going around, it seems.
yeah, we kind of just stepped into it, and she let us go if we. Well, all the souls that we kill go to her. And it's been a lot.
Oh,
So I think she's happy with us.
right. So
Yeah.
you're out there basically just executing willy-nilly, sacrificing souls to her. Well, that makes sense. She is the
Well,
goddess of.
not willy-nilly. We only defend ourselves most times.
Oh, so just people just come up and attack you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
Exactly.
actually do.
Well,
For
perhaps
no
if you just
reason.
perhaps if you all bathed a bit more often, especially you, Miss Cheese, you wouldn't offend so many people. It's not like everybody likes that scent. It
Well,
is quite
you
I
overpowering.
don't know what you're talking about.
we've been
I
traveling
smell
for
fine.
a long time.
Well, you smell like you've been traveling a long time. Let's put it that way. Uh, how can the rest of you stand it? It's awful. I mean, I just cut a slice of stinking bishop, and honestly, you're overpowering my cheese.
Well, I got a cold, so I don't smell anything.
Well, that makes sense. Yes,
Yeah.
and do keep back a bit, 15 feet. We're trying to socially distance.
Of course.
Right. So you've met Kiransali? Is that what? Are you telling me that you mortals, and I don't suppose any of you were archmages? And he looks at the two wizards. No, definitely not you two. You met Kiransali? No, come on.
We met her twice.
Hmm.
Really?
Yeah. And the second time she promised to give our shadows back.
Hmm.
Our shadows are gone.
And then he sort of leans over and looks behind you. Oh, look at that! You haven't got a shadow.
We don't.
Oh, right. Well, that's and then he looks at himself, looks at the ground beneath his feet. Why can't you just do that? That's quite a nice party trick.
Mhm.
Does that make you a bit more stealthy?
Don't know. I haven't tried. We're not
Hmm.
a stealthy bunch, to be honest.
Well, you look like you could be. None of you have any armor.
Yeah, but we're kind of clumsy. Well, we haven't
Hmm.
tried to be stealthy. Maybe we should try to be stealthy once in a while.
Well, perhaps you should. Yes. Maybe you wouldn't get into so many fights.
I like
Maybe.
fights.
Yeah, that's the problem. We like fights.
Yes. I can see. Look, young lady, no offense, but would you mind just taking these and sticking in your armpits? It'll just, I just want to dampen the scent a bit. It's really quite something.
Oh, you broke up just a tiny bit when you said what was going in my armpits?
The cheese, dear.
Oh, right.
Can you just? I haven't got any deodorant, but this will have to do. Here, and he takes the stinking bishop, breaks it into two halves, and then he gives it to you in two hands. Go ahead. It's all right. I've got more downstairs.
I eat it.
Oh no, that's
That's quite good.
oh.
Thanks.
And then he wiggles his fingers and he casts a spell, and the whole room suddenly smells like a mix of wild flowers and some cinnamon.
Mm.
Hmm.
Well, you see, you all seem to like that, so I don't know why you put up with her at all. I mean, it's not like you're all addicted to her odor. Ugh, ugh, awful. I remember reading something about these surface creatures. They were called whales. Apparently, some of the sea folk, they tend to harvest them for something called ambergris. And it's used for perfumes, but it's this quite stinky material. I wonder if you can go into business harvesting that from yourself. You might make a mint.
That sounds great. Yeah, I'll look
Sorry.
into that.
Well, just look at, just as a side hustle, as they say. Anyway, so back to Kiransali. So you're saying that Kiransali speaks to you. You've got to deal with her, and she's even going to give you back. Isn't she the queen of shadows, like Loth is the queen of spiders? I mean, they're all under her control. Why would she to you in the first place?
Well, we don't know. She wants souls, I guess.
She
Oh
wants
yeah,
soul.
and she wants us to kind of overthrow Loth a bit, kind of distract.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
kind
Well,
of forgot
that
about
does
that.
make sense.
That's
Yes,
yeah,
yes, yes. The critical piece.
yeah,
Yes.
and she gave us a ring. Well, uh, gave me and Cracker and Biles at least a ring. So we can
Oh,
take it off.
oh, yes. That does sound like her way. May I see it?
I'm just showing the bone ring.
Oh, yes. And he hovers an index finger over the ring without touching it. And then he says, "Do you mind?" And without waiting for your response, he casts a little spell, and your finger turns black, and you take 1 hit point of damage, and you feel that the whole thing is turning necrotic. And then he stops. And
What the fuck did you do that?
later,
That hurts.
a second later, the ring sucks all of the necrotic energy, and your finger returns back to normal. Interesting. I don't suppose you realized they could do that.
No.
Yes. Well, I suppose it's one of those things you have to activate it. Well, that's quite well, double-edged sword, I suppose. Not a fighter, I attended Sorcia before becoming the Archmage of Menzoberranzan. The fighters at Mille Magthair would tell you that double-edged swords are some of the most dangerous because, of course, having 2 edges, there's no safe way to handle it, really. Well, I don't know what to say. Kiransali, goddess of vengeance, goddess of the shadows. Yes, that's right. And she has a bit of a portfolio in the undead.
Yeah.
Well, that's certainly possible. Right. And she wants to get revenge on Loth. I believe that part of the reason why it succeeded in the first place was because Loth gave House Benra her blessing, or whatever you would call it. So, I mean, between that and also the fact that, well, let's be honest, my matron mother at the time, she overreached a bit herself, and, look, assassinations happen all the time. Sometimes you get the wrong one. You live and learn. And so, her attempt to take out some of the sorcerers and wizards of the third house at the time, I get upset Loth a bit. Well, look, I have no love for Loth. In fact, I wouldn't mind seeing her lose a couple of her skinny black legs. Well, anyway, yes, this could work. Perhaps you could would you mind giving me an introduction? Making an introduction for us? That would be much appreciated. I'm sure she would take my messages if she only knew who I was, being an Archmage of Menzoberranzan and all.
Former.
Yeah. Well, I don't know exactly how to contact her.
Oh, are you not on speaking terms? I understood your comment to say that you were servants working for her, contractors.
Yeah, we got the contract and then we were on our way.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And how did you speak to her last time?
Well, through another portal?
Right. So you've come to me to close a portal, but you seem to be perfectly fine opening and falling through them on your very own.
Well,
Right.
it was an accident both times. The other time it was we were inside a book or something.
The
And
Book
we
of
almost died.
Shadows? Oh, you died in... Was it the Book of Shadows?
Probably. I didn't see it.
Ugh. I did mention to Conan that I thought that they should put that in the restricted section. Leaving that on the shelf where anyone could run into it was just looking for trouble, honestly. And what does he do? Completely ignores me and spends all his time posting up those flyers about no children in the library. Surely there could have been a more productive use of his time. So you all died in the Book of Shadows. Well, that certainly makes sense. Oh, I wonder if I could go back and use that.
Might. We
Hmm.
we can try to talk to her. We haven't tried.
Well, there you go then. Right. Get your cleric out.
We don't have a cleric anymore.
Right. So you haven't got a cleric. All you've got is Miss Stinky Cheeses here.
Uh.
Mm.
Why do we need a cleric?
Well, fair enough. Yes, I'm not a cleric, and I've done pretty well. Having been the former. Did I mention I was the former Archmage of Bensel Barracks?
Once or twice, maybe.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
it's
But we do have this tattoo that might connect us to her.
Oh, may I see it?
Sure. Actually, I have mine on the clavicle, so.
Oh, yes, that is the symbol of Kiransali.
I know.
Yes,
She
of
put it
course.
there.
She put it there.
Yeah.
Just how did she put it there?
I don't know. She looked at us and it was there. I guess it was her that did it.
Oh, I see. So she's branded you. Right. Now, you will need to be careful with that if you the brands in. It will be, she's not very popular. Now, if you do find somebody who is a follower of Kiransali, you may find an ally because, well, they're not all backstabbers. It's not quite the same as Loth. Loth tends to encourage a certain competitiveness amongst her followers. Kiransali, being such a minority in terms of the deities, is you're more likely to find some shared suffering amongst her followers first before you find some competitive spirit. That said, you must keep that under wraps. And so most of you have this, do you, or all of you?
Uh, three of us.
Right.
All of us.
Oh, did you get one as well?
Yeah.
Oh.
Me too.
Oh, right. Mm. Well, the first plan was to have you go in as slaves, but the trouble with being slaves is, there tends to be a certain amount of inspecting the goods kind of thing before the auction. There's no hiding a tattoo or a brand of that size, especially if it's someplace prominent. Um, we'll have to rethink this strategy. Getting in isn't always the problem either. I mean, you could pose as travelers. It's not that often, but it is possible. Traders. I see you've got some Durga. Are they slaves? Can you go
No,
as a slave trade? No,
they are not slaves.
that's a shame. Could you? I mean, they don't look all that. I see one or two of them that look like they could be troublesome, but the rest of them look like it's standard fodder. If you want, I could probably put most of them to sleep. You
I
could
think
bind
it's
them up.
okay. They're trying to stop Sakmoy as well, so I don't
Oh,
think we
right.
mess with our allies.
Oh, right. Yes, would never betray your allies by selling them into slavery. I understand.
Mm.
Oh, or have you? And he puts a pinky finger up to his mouth. Do tell. One has naughty stories. I sense them.
What? No naughty stories.
Hmm. And he peers closely at you. Roll a deception check. And Daria, why don't you roll the opposing?
Mm,
Nice.
yes.
Something smells as off as your friend there, but I'll respect your desire for privacy, so we'll leave it at that. I suppose, but I quite imagine if I asked those Duergar down there if there was something to tell, they'd have a different story. But that's fine. You know, having an ambiguous sense of good and evil can be quite useful, especially in situations like this. Now, if we're not going to have you pose as traders, as I said, getting into Menzoberranzan isn't necessarily the hardest thing. Accessing the tower in Sorcere, where the Archmage maintains most of his important relics and his residence, or at least certainly during my time as the Archmage of Menzoberranzan, that is the trickier bit. And then closing the portal and escaping, well, I mean, clearly that's going to be tricky. Grumpf, although he is not anywhere near as smart as he thought, is certainly no fool either. And unfortunately for all of us, as the Archmage of Menzoberranzan, I put in place tremendous protections for both Menzoberranzan itself, as well as Sorcere and the tower specifically. So unless he's an absolute idiot, which even I don't think he is, he wouldn't have taken them all down. But he probably would have reset them with his own passwords, key phrases, replaced some of the wards with his own. So I know how hard it would be. And if you don't have an Archmage amongst you, and he looks at Byleth and Charlotte again, no, definitely not. I feel as if the best option would be to try a workaround. I have a suspicion that the person you need to speak to is the old hermit. I call him old, and I call him a him, but honestly, I have no idea what age it is or what sex or gender it is, even if it has a gender. But I definitely think that this is going to be the right way to get around it.
Okay. Where can we find this old hermit?
Well, that's the tricky bit. Finding it isn't so hard. Here, and he puts up a little holographic map. We're here, and he points at what looks like a cavern, and it's got a little image of his castle.
Mm.
And he is over here, which looks like it's about 15 miles away. Now, I need to warn you, I don't know what his powers are. When I was first banished hundreds of years ago, I was scouting out locations for my stronghold, and I managed to stumble across this odd fellow. He looked like he had some very unusual looking items, which I wanted to peruse for research purposes, of course. He didn't let me. He insisted that in fact, we couldn't even speak to each other. It's not, I've read quite a bit about other races and I've traveled a bit as well. I've never seen anything like this. He doesn't look like an elf or human or even an orc, certainly not a dwarf of any kind. somewhat devoid of physical features, but definitely some sort of a biped. Anyway, he had some items, and I wanted to take a look at them. I demanded to know why he was even there. At first, we couldn't communicate with each other. He was speaking some unintelligible gibberish. But eventually, something sorted itself out, and the next thing I knew, he was speaking to me fluently in Elvish and in Undercommon, as if he was a native speaker, so presumably it was magic. I then asked him why he was there. He said he didn't really know how he had gotten there. He insisted that I leave, which of course I wasn't going to do, being the Archmage of Menzoberranzan who'd staked out his claim. I found it quite offensive that he would tell me to leave. So I demanded that he hand over everything he had as penance, and he refused. So I decided to let him have it with some magic missiles. I'm sure you all know that spell. Yes, I could see that you two are definitely. You've got magic missile finger. You've got those calluses on the tips of your index fingers from casting too many of those. You're going to have to watch that. Soak those in some riser or something. I find the blood of young virgins quite helpful when it comes to doing. Anyway, and of course he put up a shield. Now, of course, as all of you probably know, any first-year student of mine would know that a shield automatically absorbs magic missiles. They don't even penetrate. It's not a question of doing any damage. It's a force-related shield. It's a force-related offensive spell. The two negate each other. That said, I was ready to upgrade it to the next level, and I was immediately encapsulated. It was invisible. It felt like force. I think it might have been a wall of force spell used as a cube. I don't have that spell myself. I don't suppose any of you've got that. If you did, I'd be quite keen to get a copy of it. No, you two definitely don't have that, I can tell. Then I tried to cast Dispel Magic. As an Archmage, I can cast spells at a very high level, and I can use a high level capability on lower level spells. And I tell you, I tried twice. And it's very, very rare to not be able to succeed using a very high level energy to cast Dispel Magic. And I was stuck. Me, the Archmage of Menzoberranzan. I could not get out. He insisted that I leave, never come back. I found that quite upsetting, but I accepted his terms. I asked him why he would let me live, because, well, to be honest, I wouldn't have probably let him live if our situations had been reversed. And he said something about not being allowed to interfere. Now, I don't know what he was interfering with, since I stumbled upon him as opposed to the other way around, and he didn't seem to know that I was there, but in any case, that's what he said. And of course, I did not go back. But anybody who has the ability to imprison an Archmage of Menzoberranzan so casually and to resist the ability to take down that spell, I tell you, must have the ability to penetrate the defenses of Sorcerer. And if you could get his artifacts, I am sure that with my superior intellect, which... and he sort of squints an eye and looks at at Charlotte and Zanice and Byleth and Delin, and then looks at no, definitely not. I absolutely guarantee I could probably find a solution amongst all of his various artifacts. Just kill him, do whatever you want with the body. I just need his devices, and then bring them back here and we'll sort it all out. What do you say?
Did you know his name, maybe?
Do you know we never got around to pleasantries?
A shame.
Yes, quite. What difference does it make?
kill him. It doesn't really matter. Names in the wind. Of course, we don't have much wind down here in the Underdark, but there are some winds. He'll be forgotten with time. And once I have my hands on the artifacts, we'll find the one that allows him to penetrate defenses, remain completely hidden, and also to imprison an archmage, because, well, you may run into another one.
Well, we can at least go and talk to him.
No, you must ambush him. The only reason why I wasn't successful was because he stumbled across me while I was perusing some of the items in his camp. I think with all of you, even though none of you are that, look, if I had a physical option, like our cheesy friend here, I may have had much more success. And certainly, if he's using the Wall of Force spell, it is quite locally confined. It would be a challenge if you are all spread out for him to capture all of you at once. You simply need to overpower him with numbers.
Okay.
Good.
Oh.
It's settled.
It's settled.
Right. What was I going to say? Yes. Now, if you would like to all take a rest, you're welcome to sleep wherever you'd like out here on the porch at the base of the stairs. Sorry, we're not letting in any guests at the moment. It's under renovation. Also, to be honest, I find your smell deeply offensive. You'd have to take a bath, several, in acid. Which you look like you might survive, actually. Speaking of acid, I really should take a holiday and take that nice trip. Perhaps I'll do that this evening with a hot bath. Right. And you can prepare for your journey tomorrow. Or you could just trek out there now, try to get the drop on him, and see how it goes. It's really up to you. Oh, Larry, by the way, what are you doing floating around there? Just go patrol or something, would you? And why do you look so happy? And Larry just sort of smiles secretly and floats away. He's been all odd in the last few months, ever since he talked about wanting to reproduce. I don't know what's going on with him. And now he looks like he's, I don't know, relieved? Does that make sense? Do spectators have relief? Like a great weight's been lifted off of his orb. He's a very odd fellow. Oh, I see you've got one too. Oh, but he's not really a spectator or beholder, is he? Yeah, well, I suppose one has to start small. Good luck with that one. He looks like he could be trouble.
Thank you.
Yes, well, pleasure.
This is Steve.
Steve.
Mm.
Yeah. Steve and Larry. Perhaps they know each other.
Don't ask him that.
Oh, does he get upset? Yes, I find those with one eye tend not to be able to see the bigger picture. Well, anyway, enough of the humor. You know, as an archmage, I mentioned Baron said, I was actually known for my stand-up routines. I would often tell the incoming classes a number of jokes, and they loved it. They absolutely loved it. Yes. Anyway, I wish you all good luck, bon chance, as they say, and don't come back without the dead body and the artifacts. Leave the body. Bring the artifacts. That's the important thing.
Cracker's already out the door and on the porch. I don't need to listen to this guy anymore. He's driving me nuts.
Yes, same goes to you, Sticky. Good luck.
Oh my god.
Larry just telekinetically lifts all the vomit off the ground. I'm supposed to keep things clean around here. And then he just like dumps it in the corner.
Okay, so it was 50 miles to the hermit, I guess.
15,
15. Okay.
which
So we
in the
still have
Underdark
to miss a
takes
day.
quite a long time.
Okay.
Because you have to, it's not like walking on a
So-
field, right? You have to like go over, sometimes you have to cross crevasses, sometimes you have to go up, like vertically into the tunnels above you, right? So sometimes there's not a tunnel. You have to find your way through natural.
So a couple of days.
Anybody need a rest?
It'll take over, it won't take a couple of days necessarily. It depends on how you're averaging about 1 mile an hour. So if your normal walking speed in a field on the surface would be 2 to 3 miles an hour, your walking speed down here in the Underdark is close to 1 mile an hour because you have to pick over stalagmites and all the other things, lava, occasional dead dwarves. So 15 miles is going to take you the better part of a day to get there.
Let's
Well,
have a
we
little
can-
rest.
Okay.
Little long rest.
Long rest.
Yeah.
Sure.
Larry floats over and says, if you're going to take a rest, just let me know and I'll keep an eye out.
Thank you. You're the best.
And he winks with just the one eye, which you don't know necessarily if it's a wink or a blink.
Okay.
I don't know. Should we leave the dwarves here? The Turgar?
Yeah, might be a good idea.
Ashley looks at
Maybe-
you and the party is banged up. They're still injured from the escape. Some of them, have bandages. They're healing. They're getting a little bit healthier. There's also some grumbling amongst all of them over the fact that they obviously let some of the dwarves go. The Diragar, being slavers as a race, are a bit more callous about human freedom, but at the same time, they are followers of Kasuth, and they don't necessarily want to see their numbers diminish without some tangible success towards their goal. You can hear them arguing, started off with 50 and now we are down to just the 7 of us. And what have we got to show for it? We're following these losers. Between the smell and the fact that they don't seem to have a plan, I mean, what's the point? And we just lost half our number over a fight that we didn't start because they brought some enemies into our camp.
I don't know.
Well,
I'm
it's-
sleeping.
At least
Sounds
now
like-
we have a plan.
Sounds like everybody's sleeping.
Yeah.
We're no closer to getting to Megara and unleashing its power on the black mold.
Well, we are a bit closer.
Oh, you heard us? Well, good. I'm glad you heard us. I think you're a terrible leader, and I don't think you know what you're doing.
I never said I was a leader.
At this, he seems a bit taken aback. It's Lean that's doing the complaining. You're not the leader? Why is everybody listening to you? Why are we following her? She's not the leader.
Well,
We don't actually have a leader.
And he
It's all
said,
for one.
and he says something like, "That's just like a," and then suddenly Ashley throws him a really dirty look. A bunch of non-bearded people.
well, you do what you want. We have a plan now. And I'm going to wait a couple of days and I'm going to summon, what was her name again? Lavinia again and hear if she has any information. But you do you. I can't force you to stay.
Ashley looks at you and just says, Look, we've been following you now for a while, and we've lost some of our friends because of this introduction of enemies into our camp. If you don't have a plan, then you have to at least promise you're going to keep the promise you made, because that was the whole basis of our relationship. It's
Well, I
very
said
important.
I understand, but we do have a plan.
Well, it sounds like going to Mensa Branzan is quite dangerous, and we don't know whether or not you're going to make it out alive.
True.
Well, you said something about Mensa Branzan. You didn't say anything about taking on the Archmage, going into Sorcerer. We're Duragar. We're not going to be allowed into the tower of the Archmage in Sorcerer. They don't even let non-spellcasters in there. I mean, non-arcane spellcasters. Obviously, I'm in tune with my god. I think we need to get in touch with Megara first. Dealing with the demons, yes, I agree, is definitely something we should prioritize later. But for now, if we can get Megara to either unleash its power or pass on a message to Kasuth, we may be able to deal with the black mold, which is, based on your description, maybe it's just a symptom, but it is still a very significant problem. And if the solution presents itself more soon, then sneaking all the way to Mensa Branzan, sneaking into their citadel, sneaking into the tower, and then getting to the top of it and closing some magical portal, and then not getting out alive. I feel like Megara is a more reasonable and achievable goal.
Well, first we need to let my elemental have some time. Try and establish that connection. So if we go to this old hermit now, instead of just sitting here waiting, we can at least go there and see if we can find a way to get into and out of tower, and then we can decide what to do next, okay? Before we go to Mensa Branson.
All right. Let me,
But you can stay here and rest while we go and find out about this hermit.
fine. We'll stay here.
Good.
I want you to know that you understand that Kasuth is a god of law. Nothing is more frustrating or betraying than breaking a solemn promise. And our promises have been paid for on our half with blood and freedom. It would
You're not,
be the basis for a terrible curse if you did not live up to your end.
you're not going to break our promise.
Fine. I won't cast Gesh on you because, well, that would imply I don't trust you. I do trust you. But you understand, being a woman and being a leader in charge of a bunch of slaver dwarves isn't the easiest job. I can't do this if I don't have some progress, some success, something to something to beard with. I can't go back to them empty-handed, no beard, and tell them we've got nothing for all our sacrifice. And the black mold, of course, will continue to grow. Unchecked. Whether or not we stop the demon lords, the black mold has to stop itself. We can't do that by killing off the demon lords. We've tried experiments putting this thing in seclusion. It doesn't seem to be sentient. It just seems to be a natural force. It keeps getting bigger, but it also doesn't seem. So we just have to wipe it out. Anyway, That's my final 2 copper pieces on it.
Well, we have the same goal. We are going to stop the mold.
Fine. At this stage, I would exchange strands of beard hair if you were a Dirigar, but you don't seem to have too much.
I can give you a handshake.
Maybe clip some of the mustache off of that one over there.
Oh, I don't think she would like that. She's
I'm
worked so hard on it.
Giving them one hair.
Lean closer.
Okay.
And she grabs a couple of hairs between her thumb and forefinger and yanks really hard.
No.
And you watch as the hairs come out, and there's even like little bits of like material at the end of it, like from inside. I guess that'll. And she yanks a couple of her own beard hairs out and she gives them to you. Best to just tie that in a knot and keep it someplace safe. What am I going to do with these? She ties them in a knot and then she tucks them inside her breastplate. The rest of you look at Byleth and you see that Byleth's mustache, although it used to be perfectly symmetrical, and now it's still symmetrical, but there's a bald spot between the middle and the end of her mouth on the left side. Don't worry, dear. It'll grow back. Maybe even thicker than before.
Hopefully. If not, we'll have a talk.
Grow your beard out more. I'll tell you, this is what I do. And then she starts whispering some stuff in your ear about what to smear on your face. And it all sounds really disgusting. It's got to do with like the rancid fat of a rotha that's been exposed to warm heat for 30 days, combined with some entrails from some other creature you've never heard of, and then slowly cooked over a low heat for about 4 hours. Just leave that on your face for about 2 weeks, and I guarantee you it'll come back in really nice and flushed, and it'll be fluffy and really silvery and beautiful. You'll love it.
Thanks for the advice. Maybe later. Not now. I'm not at this age yet.
Yes. Well, we've got other things on our minds, don't we? Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. It's okay. I mean, it's not the worst I've ever seen. And the rest of you, well, good luck. So, all right, we'll just camp out over here and wait for you. Hope you make it back alive talking to this guy. Creature, whatever. He sounds like he's a bit dangerous. If you can imprison an archmage, you better have a plan before you go in there.
We always have a plan.
We're just gonna wing it.
Yeah.
That's your plan? We always have a
always the
plan.
plan.
We're just going to wing it.
The best plan of all.
Yeah.
Winging it.
I can't believe we're following these people. Steve goes, yeah, I can't believe it either. So am I coming along?
I think Steve should stay back.
Yeah. Probably.
I don't want him to
Agree.
get hurt.
Stay with Larry.
Yeah.
Look, for the last time, just because we each have one eye and a bunch of protrusions coming out of a central floating body doesn't mean that we're related to each other. That's very biased.
But it's a good
It's gonna
basis
keep
to
you
become
safe.
friends. Because you share traits, so you can talk about it,
Yeah, but most of my appendages and protrusions are on the bottom side of my body.
Still both had one eye, so yay. You'll find something to talk about.
Okay, I can see this isn't getting through to you. Fine. Yeah, go. Just don't leave me here. This would be, man. Can you look? Let's just leave it this way. I don't think I'm ever going to see eye to eye with that guy. He's just not on my level.
Sorry to hear that.
So you guys going to take a long rest?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, in that case, why don't we all take a short rest?
Sounds good.
Okay. Hi. We hope you're enjoying this episode, and if so, please like and subscribe. And remember, the next time your DM says, roll initiative, yell back,
Here.
Hold my earrings.
Here, my earrings.
This is good. I think we only need this take.
all right. So what do you guys want to do anything else besides take your long rest? Is anybody doing anything funky with their, I don't know.
Mhm. I
Okay.
wanted to change in Hellish Rebuke for Thunderwave. So instead of Thunderwave, Hellish Rebuke.
Okay.
And I wanted to roll important, and I wanted to learn a new word. So many things.
Oh,
Yeah. Important.
okay.
And I would like to learn the word love. Because I'm such a romantic.
As she twirls her mustache evenly.
Oh my god. The last time I got no. Okay. I'm rolling really low on important die, but
Well, that's good. You want the extremes, right? So
yeah.
obviously not 20 is the best, but if you can get
Hmm.
like a 2, that's almost as useful. It actually statistically and using game theory, getting a low number for a portent to use on your enemies can actually be more useful in pure combat situations than getting a high number for yourself.
That's true.
Because for yourself, you can only give it to yourself. Well, technically, you can use it for an ally, but in order to do something to avoid making an enemy fail a saving throw is much more potentially deleterious than just succeeding on a hit. So you've learned the word love. Can you actually? I was going to ask you to do this, Laura. Could you write down the actual real life date that you learned the word so that we can track?
Yeah.
We can track in case you forget a week, because you're supposed to also subtract a word if you forget during a long rest.
All right.
Thank you.
Can do.
And then does anybody else want to change any spells?
I'm looking.
Marietta, Daria, Sophie.
I'm looking. Mm,
So he has given you some clues on what not to use.
mhm.
Oh no.
Right.
There's one thing, maybe.
Sophie,
I
were you?
don't-
Oh,
Sorry.
sorry, Henrietta. Yep.
No, it's okay.
Were you writing +1 inspiration for Cracker for the replay or the recap?
Yeah, just yes, for the recap.
Okay, great, thank you. And Yvonne, did you get that?
Yep, I did. Thank you.
Excellent, thank you. Okay. Sorry, Henrietta.
That's okay. I think I'm going to change protection from entry to enhance ability.
Ooh. Okay. Do you want to post it for everybody? You don't have to, but
Sure, I can.
it's not one we see that often, so. Okay. Anybody else? Daria or Sophie, any spells you want to change?
I don't really have much to change to because it's mostly just ritual spells.
Which again, you are a wizard. You guys could get together and just say you want to swap spells, and you could Violet's
We
spellbook
have-
is much thicker.
It costs money.
What else are you going to buy with rental properties? I mean, in the Underdark.
Favors.
No.
I guess it's not Airbnb then. It would be like Underdark B&B or
Mhm.
Stone B&B or
Let me just
Favors?
consult. How long
You're
does it
gonna-
take to learn a spell again? Is it like one long rest? Or is it just money?
No, it should actually be on your character sheet. But it's also in the player's handbook in the wizards area. It's like a couple hours or something per spell level.
Let me take a look.
Well, definitely take a couple minutes to take a look at your character sheet and bone up on everybody. Just as a reminder, everybody just bone up on your abilities, because these things are useful. They're part of your classes, and it's not always about what you can do in combat. It's also about what you prepare in advance. Like the clerics and druids, you can choose any spell from your list, which Henrietta knows very well. Which means that from combat to combat, especially if you're preparing in advance, and wizards to some extent as well, if you have an extensive spell book, you can really take advantage of that, right? So, the same fight with the wrong equipment is much, much harder. And I'm planning for you guys basically to be efficient for the most part. So you guys walk into a situation, you've got a bunch of spells that you are not going to be able to use, or you've got spells access to spells that could be useful, but you don't take them. It could be a matter of life or death.
Since I'm not going to talk to the elemental today, I am also going to conjure minor elementals to watery sphere.
Ooh, we have not seen that.
No, you
You want
haven't.
to post that one?
That I can.
That is going to be fun.
Well, it's my 4th level spell, so I'm kind of. I don't use them lightly. I kind of save them, so I never get to use them.
I think you might have used watery sphere once. If I recall correctly. How big is the sphere? 5-foot radius, right? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Anything else?
Do I have time to learn a spell from Beleth right now?
Not if you mispronounce her name, you don't.
Beleth.
Beleth. Yo, Beleth. Let me get a favor from you while I mispronounce your name and disrespect you completely. Like every bully ever talked to every nerd at school.
I forgive you.
Thank you.
Disrespecting the nerd at the same time you take their math notes. And do you also like walk up to Beleth and throw like a slushy in her face as well? Take that, nerd. Thanks for your lunch money.
Give me that spell book.
Some of these anecdotes are like personal.
Do you like torture her now that she's no longer like 300 pounds by just like grabbing onto one end of a mustache and just like yanking her around and stuff?
And
I
her
know
with
you're
a
more-
shaving razor.
Yeah.
No.
Shave off one side of the mustache while she's sleeping with her dagger. Oh my god, that would be so funny. And then just wake up and you see like Charlotte's got like one half of your mustache cut in half so that she's got like a little mini mustache on, a symmetrical mustache, whereas you're missing one side of it.
Oh no.
Oh, I could use it as a
Always
goatee.
Oh, your goatee. Oh my god, a soul patch taken from Violet. That would be so funny. And just like whenever like Violet says something smart, you just like Sophie just stands there and just like strokes her soul patch knowingly. Like Oh,
would
that is
fireball
vicious.
you.
That
No
yeah,
hesitation.
yeah, that would be hilarious. That's definitely fireball offense. Okay. All right, good. So we've got some stuff going on here. So Sophie, what spell did Charlotte want to learn, and where's the money coming from?
Dylan. May I please borrow some cash?
If you can do it like Oliver Twist,
Hmm.
that was close.
Please, miss. May I have some cash?
Have some, oh please. Okay, well let's see how it goes.
And
How
which
much
spell
do you
that I
need?
want?
Depends on the level, I guess. On the spell.
Yeah, what spell is it? I want to know.
Mm, mm, Thunderwave.
Ooh.
And the wave. That's 50 gold, isn't it?
You
Level
post the
one?
chat. Post it in the chat, and then you'll have all the details in there. Yep. Thank you. So that evocation spell. So Sophie, how much is it?
I don't know.
You're killing me, Sophie. I'm dying a slow death.
Wait.
Oh, no.
Just read up on it in between sessions, please.
Okay.
Please. I'm begging you.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, so it'll be 50 gold pieces, 2 hours, and so you guys will get a late start, which is fine because there's no sun anyway. So what difference does that make, right? You are you Henrietta? How does Delin impose any conditions on Charlotte
No, I'm
for the
going
loan
to
of the
take
money?
it from the party inventory.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And you're going to just notate that that's what it's spent for.
Yep.
Cool. Awesome. And does Byleth consent? Does she have a choice? Is her
I
mustache
don't have a
being held
choice, I think.
hostage?
I'm still too nice.
Oh my God.
You Violet.
But I'm definitely eyeing you.
Yeah, I would too. Talk about
You know,
ingratitude.
some divine power told me that someone wants to cut my beard off, so I don't know.
Well, since you don't have a
Suspicious.
beard, that would be impressive. That would
A
be very
mustache.
impressive. Your
My
mustache.
soon-to-be beard.
If you smear all that combination of feces and rotting meat on your face, which maybe would keep Charlotte from taking it from you.
True.
And stop it from coming in with within entirely.
I mean, Violet could smear that stuff on Charlotte while she sleeps to get revenge. I mean,
No.
Oh,
yeah.
Thanks for the idea.
There you go.
How would you
I'm just
do
trying to
such
be
a
helpful.
thing?
Said the woman who throws slushies in her face while she takes her spell book
That
to
was
copy notes.
that was your daydreaming. That wasn't me.
We all heard it. We all heard you laughing, saying absolutely, definitely do that.
Well, it was a good idea.
It was a good idea. All right. Yeah, there you go. Sophie was definitely one of the mean girls at school.
Was not.
All right, so you guys have taken. Sorry, I'm just kidding. I'm not slandering anybody. So you guys have taken your long rest. You've done your spell exchange. You've changed a couple of spells.
I'm changing my Oh wait, can I change in the morning, or do I have to wait until the next long rest before I can change a spell?
It's also in your class description.
No, there's too much text.
You've had 4 months to read it. It takes 10 minutes. You do it after your long. You have to complete a long rest, but please read through it. Please don't be the new Yvonne. Oh,
Hey, come on now. I attacked twice now.
All right, come on. Seriously, Sophie, please just read through it. It's once you like read through it a couple of times and you do it a couple of times, it'll be easy to remember. But you have to, it comes with repetition, right? So,
Okay.
okay. So you guys have changed your spells. You learned a new spell, Charlotte. You've taken some money out of the party inventory, Delin. Delin also changed a spell. Byleth also changed a spell. Zanice changing a spell? No.
No,
Can Zanice change spells? I can't remember.
no.
Right. Yeah. See, there's a difference, right? See, Zanice has a great character class as well, but she cannot change spells. So take advantage of the flexibility that you have. Those of you who can change spells and who don't do it often. Okay. And Yvonne just switches from being left-handed, two-handed weaponry to right-handed, two-handed weaponry.
Cast iron.
Cast iron. Okay. And the smell of sizzling bacon immediately fills the cavern.
That sounds good.
Yeah, smells good. Okay. You guys are ready to head out? Any final words to Steve? Anybody? Steve says, if you don't make it back, if some of you die, but not all of you, can I get your stuff? And you look at him, he looks like he weighs about 10 pounds floating there. It doesn't look like he could carry anything. Maybe other than like a scroll tube.
If you bring our bodies back.
How am I going to bring your bodies back?
Well, that's the condition.
Whatever. And then he floats away. Boop, 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 boop.
Why this dude?
All right. You guys ready?
We're ready, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds good.
You guys head out. Does anybody have a marching song or a marching cadence?
What
And
about
all
Oh and the
those.
Saints?
Huh?
What about Oh and the Saints?
How does it
You know.
go?
Oh and the Saints.
Oh, that
Oh
one.
and the Saints.
I thought it was
Oh
some
and the
Welsh song.
Saints go marching in.
And as you guys run off into the darkness, you eventually arrive here on the map. Yes, this is the map that you saw.
Ooh.
Last time
What is this
seen it.
place?
So new and enchanting. Oh my
Thanks.
god.
I get no respect. I'm like Rodney Dangerfield in this group. I get no respect. I should just put a whole bunch of doors in here, and every time you guys like walk someplace and you open a door, there's like another door, and then it'll be more door.
Wah, wah, wah.
Wow.
Someone earlier, I couldn't believe nobody got that joke in advance. I thought somebody was going to jump the gun on me. No? All right. All right. Yes, that's why Sophie comes back. She's here for the dad jokes.
I simply love them.
Me too. Okay. So you have walked into this large cavern. It is covered in what appears to be volcanic material. There are active lava pits. Anything that looks like a lava pit is a lava pit. It's boiling. It's hot as hell. Zinni's out. Extremely comfortable. The rest of you are sweating bullets. Not that bullets exist, but sweating pebbles, sweating sling stones. And it is also very well lit as a result of the glow from all of the lava pools. The air smells not just acrid with sulfur and the smell of burnt material and melting lava, which you've probably become somewhat accustomed to, having been through the Underdark and a number of lava infested areas already. There's also this odd sensation. It smells ionized, like just before a large thunderstorm for those of you with memories of the surface of your surface life. And your hair, I guess everybody has hair now. Your hair stands, yay! Everybody's hair stands up on the back of their neck, and even Byleth's partially mangled mustache twitches a little bit, and some of the hair stand up a little bit and tickle the underside of her nose.
How long have we been walking?
Oh, long enough to get sick of Charlotte seeing when the Saints come marching in.
But we are not at the end of the line. You don't
Oh,
think
you. This is the location on the map.
okay. We're there.
Yeah, you're there, and now you just need to get the back again part before you can finish your biography.
Yeah. Maybe we should talk about how to approach this hermit.
Yeah, I'm still not clear on what the plan is. Are we gonna kill him or?
I was hoping maybe talk first.
That's a good idea.
If Taylor Swift were a mass murderer. Sorry. Very good, Sophie. Yeah. So what is the plan? You guys tell me. And
Well,
discuss amongst yourselves.
Yeah, he seemed powerful, being able to take a former archmage.
A Mensa Branson.
Yeah, nonetheless. So I think maybe talking is the best idea.
I
But
think Mr. DeVere said that he had difficulty communicating with the hermit at first. Maybe we should send someone who knows the that language spell, perhaps.
yeah, is that a ritual spell?
Hmm.
Can you cast it on someone else? No, itself.
No.
And suddenly somebody kicks Violet in the back.
Hey!
I'm just
No.
As Violet turns back and looks over her shoulder, she sees Charlotte grinning evilly, fake
Why
twisting.
don't you want to copy that
Fake
spell?
twisting an
Charlotte?
imaginary mustache.
Does nobody else have the spell?
Yeah, you could have had her copy that spell, then pushed her out in front.
I was just thinking I have prepared a spell that could help you be more convincing. But I would like to know who I'm going to cast it on. So someone has to do the talking.
To convince him to give over the artifacts, right?
Yeah, or at least just convince him to talk to us first. But it seemed like he knew some kind of that kind of spell as well, since he suddenly knew how to talk in Undercommon and Elvish. Someone has to do most of the talking. We have to decide before, so I can cast my spell.
Well, probably not me.
Well, you're charismatic, aren't
Unless he happens to be a huge mouse.
My confidence has been shattered by all these comments about my smell.
Aww.
Oh,
I wouldn't want to offend anyone.
Like the first time ever that Crackers ever said that.
Well, I'm the only one that can speak to him, I guess.
Don't you have
Nobody else
telepaths
volunteers.
in the party? There's like 2 telepaths in the party.
Oh, yeah.
True.
True.
But
Well.
I have to speak the same language as him.
You do? Huh. Then Violet it is.
Hey. I'm the chosen one.
You're the chosen one.
Oh,
Does Charlotte
Violet.
like point out a dagger and stick it in Violet's back and poke her? Get going.
No. She gives her a thumbs up.
Get going, tiefling bait.
Well, what are you guys doing? While I'm doing the talking.
Protecting the
Standing
rear.
behind you.
Aw. Okay,
Keeping you safe.
hopefully. I'm really bad at talking, by the way, but I can, you know, we can wing it.
As we always do. And it always goes great. Okay?
True.
Well, you have an hour, and I'm going to cast Eagle's Splendor. You have advantage on charisma checks.
Ooh,
Ooh.
perfect.
Mm.
And briefly, glowing magical wings spread out over Violet's back and then disappear. And you notice that her hair looks fluffier and seems to be sort of blowing in an imaginary breeze that doesn't exist. Her
Hello.
eyes look brighter. The eyelashes look longer and more lustrous, and even the mustache looks a little bit longer and even more curly at the ends.
Giving you
Oh,
all the
go.
sexy eye.
Yeah.
Okay, but you have to stay close behind me, or
course.
I'm going to. I don't know. Okay.
Lead the way.
Why
Hey,
are you
where do I
guys
go?
all green, by the way? I forgot to ask. I remember there was a reason for
Is
that.
it the mushrooms?
Yeah.
Oh, the mushrooms have worn off by now.
Okay.
So you can all take the green dots off. You guys know how to do that, right?
Yep.
Excellent, Daria.
Oh.
Yay! Sophie did it. All right.
Have some faith.
You can do it. I'm not saying you're special needs or anything. I'm just saying, you know.
Hey.
Oh,
All right. I know. I'm so mean.
You think he lives over there? And I'm going to point that. I don't know if it's door or, but it seems like an entrance of some sort. What do you think is up here?
Yeah, so just to be clear, this does not appear to be a door.
Okay.
It looks like a collapsed stairwell.
Mm.
So
Maybe
there
we-
are carved stairs, which you can see as you're passing past, going by them. On the one hand, it's not unusual to see stairs in the Underdark completely because, as you know from personal experience, that there have been various races that have occupied or utilized certain parts of the Underdark. What is unusual is that most of these stairs seem to be carved into the basalt. And if these are active lava pools, those of you who have been around the lava a bit will realize that sometimes these things bubble up. So the stairs don't look worn out from centuries of use, like you noticed with the bridges and the pathways to and from the lava lake that obviously had been traversed by countless numbers of Duergar, whoever built them. These look freshly cut. They're very clean, and the edges are straight, and they're sharp.
Well, keep going. I'm just gonna push Violet in the back.
okay.
Don't
Is
have
it-
all day.
Is it around here?
Huh?
I
Is
don't
what?
know. Maybe up here.
Yeah,
up the
there's
stairs.
so what this is there's like a pathway leading up a gentle slope of stairs heading into what appears to be another tunnel or cave or something. Okay. And as you get to that section, two towers suddenly become visible. And you are all hit
Oh, fuck.
Ouch.
with various beams of shooting electricity and lightning. Let's all have some dexterity saving throws.
Yeah, but I was
I
lagging
showed-
behind.
Oh, Yvonne.
I'm still way over here.
Oh, Yvonne. I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed.
Oh.
All right, then take that.
Okay, so Yvonne, does Cracker have the dodgy thing?
Yep.
Okay, so you already passed anyway, so it doesn't matter. It's fine. Who rolled the 11?
I did.
Lynn. Okay, so Delin and Zanice, you each take 24 points of lightning damage,
Cool.
and the rest of you take 12.
My gosh.
At least I still have the
I'm down.
eagle splinter.
Okay, and Zanice is down.
No.
Hold on. Hold on. There, 9 points.
And I'm up.
Yay.
It's like, make up your mind already.
You okay there?
Yeah, thank you.
That kind of hurt. Are the towers still up?
They are still there, and they are still crackling. So
Okay.
technically, we're not in combat, but they look like they're charging up again. Like they appeared. You think that they were there all the time. They were just invisible, which is amazing considering you guys saw this map and you didn't actually know about it. And then you guys, after the charge, you guys all have a round basically to do one thing. So Henrietta is going to basically bring Zanice back up, and the rest of you guys can do something. Henrietta, you can move, but that'll be your round basically. I'm not going to keep track of the exact initiative.
Okay. I am. How can I hide behind one of the pillars?
Which pillar?
I don't know.
I mean, can you hide
This one?
behind something? Yeah, you can hide behind something. Oh, you mean one of the towers? The little
Yeah.
towers? Yeah, you could
So
try to hide behind one.
If I hide behind one and they shoot again at me, maybe they will hit the other tower. Destroy it. Maybe they destroy each other.
You could try.
I'm going to try. I'm going to run behind where I am now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Zanice is going to be able to move after she gets up. The rest of you guys can take all your actions and move fully. Zanice, you can still take a full action, which also means you can dash, obviously.
I'm raging because that
Okay.
hurt.
Yeah, sure did.
And I'm readying my my great axe.
Okay.
I'm just trying to think what I'd be readying for because there's nobody around here. Am I
No,
gonna
there
go
isn't.
through these towers? I don't think so. Well, I'll ready my weapon just in case something physically attacks us.
Okay. Are you moving?
I moved back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Charlotte? Sophie, do you want Charlotte to do something?
I moved back with Yvonne, and then I. I think I'll actually move. No, I think I'll stay here. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe I'll
Violet?
inspect the. Oh,
No, sorry, go ahead. So you're moving and taking your action, and your action is to use investigation. Or to try to.
Yeah, sure. To see if I can see like a power source or if it's like a magic thing, maybe.
Okay, so just as a reminder, investigation does require interacting with something like a puzzle or a lock or
Mm.
whatever it is. So you'd have to be next to them basically to touch them. I might let you
my.
use Mage Hand in it instead, but Mage Hand would be a spell, which is also one action.
Mm.
So
That's a good idea, actually. I'll cast Mage Hand then.
okay,
Yeah.
so you can't. So normally you can't do both because that's one spell, and then but the Mage Hand itself can do something. So I'll let you do that in this particular case, but generally don't count on it. Okay.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. So Mage Hand, just if you read the description, and also I would suggest you don't forget to edit Thunderwave when you copy it to your character sheet, so you can break up the text a bit, and also do that with Mage Hand. Can you do that when we're done?
Yeah, of course. I've done it with Thunderwave, I think.
Okay, great, perfect.
Ah,
If you read through it, it doesn't have things like sensory feedback, right? So you can't feel anything. And the Mage Hand itself doesn't do anything other than manipulate a small object. As you pass the Mage Hand over it, a crackle and electrical field appears around the Mage Hand itself, and the Mage Hand disappears as it moves into the immediate proximity of these little towers.
oh, bollocks.
Mage Bollocks? Yeah, I guess you could repurpose the spell. No. Okay. Anything else? You don't know if there's a power source from interacting with it with Mage Hand. Would you know what a power source is?
Mm, I don't know. Did Agamemnon have any fancy contraptions?
Ooh. Now that I will allow, right? So remember, no metagaming, right? So
Mhm.
it's not like real world. Obviously, we know what power sources are, electrical cords and all that. In D&D fantasy world, you don't necessarily have a power source. So what you can do is you can roll history.
Let's see here. I click you.
Okay. So since I didn't have you roll investigation, this is technically what you're going to be doing.
Okay.
What you're going to recollect is that Phasris, in and of itself, didn't answer too many questions, but it did power a large engine, which also had something to do with using force magic. And it's possible it works on the same principle, but you're not sure.
Sorry, what I cut out a bit then.
Okay, so do you remember being in Blingdenstone?
Was I ever there?
Were you in Blingdenstone? Oh, maybe you weren't in Blingdenstone. So the party has talked about their time in Blingdenstone, which is the city of the gnomes, the deep gnomes, the Sverfnublin. And one of the things that they encountered was a Phasris engine, which is these magical rocks which interfere with spell casting. They're kind of purple and they look like geodes. And they were used to power a large engine that created a force field around the entire city. And the same principle may apply here, but you're not an expert with it. And you don't know
Okay.
for sure. Okay. I think I was going to do Byleth and then Daria last. Zanice last.
Hmm. Okay. It's not divination magic because my phases string didn't respond to it. I guess. Can I say that?
Sorry, say that again.
I have this phaser string, this one, and
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be hit if it was some sort of divination magic.
You wouldn't be hit by what?
I mean, I can't be targeted by any divination magic. So.
Oh, I see. So this is a lightning attack. So
Mhm.
what that spell means is you can't be targeted, as in somebody cannot use divination magic to find you.
Oh, okay.
They're
All
like
right.
spells that allow you to find somebody that you can't see or
Mhm.
So
Can I move here or through here? Like
yes, those are you're basically going up a very long,
yeah.
gently sloping set of stairs.
Okay. I think then I'm just gonna dash to there. Like
Okay.
here.
Okay.
Boom. Bye.
All right.
This was it. Here.
Excellent. And Daria, Zanice, after recovering,
I'm gonna use my action to dash behind Kraken.
okay, so 45 feet altogether. Okay, cool. So as Byleth nearly reaches the top of the stairs, something steps out from behind one of the stalagmites. It seems to be wielding a long object, and it points this it looks like a long blunt at Byleth. What are you doing here?
Well, we wanted to talk to you.
Stay back.
But we wanted to talk to you.
Back up.
Backing up a little bit. Like 5 feet.
Further, and it fires a shot of electricity past your head.
Hmm. Hmm. Great.
What do you want?
We wanted to talk about your nice artifacts.
They are not artifacts.
What are they?
Who are you? Why are you in my space? This is a private camp.
We are on a mission to save the world. And I look at Dylan. And we need your help.
Under the first rule of non-interference, I cannot help you.
Hmm. Really? Maybe you could. Come on, for
Yeah,
us.
yeah, sure. Why not? What was I thinking? Yeah.
That's some really good persuasion.
I'm the persuader.
I mean, I almost feel like letting you roll for it as a result of that incredibly obviously logical argument. You know,
Hmm.
I've seen prime ministerial candidate debates that had less reasoning and logic behind them.
Well, why don't you want to help save the world?
I am not allowed to interfere.
Why are you not allowed?
It is the first rule.
Who made this rule?
Our people are not allowed to interfere with events.
Hmm.
We can only observe.
Well, you could be observing what we're doing with your artifacts, I guess.
They are not artifacts.
I knew you were gonna say this. Well, maybe we could profit off each other, Maybe you have something you want, and I don't know.
We do not believe in profit,
Hmm.
but you could help me. I am not here deliberately. I am trapped.
Mhm. Why are you trapped?
There was an accident.
Go on.
I was using a teleporter and something interfered with it. And I was drawn to this location in a large city. I was trapped by a creature. It kept trying to communicate, but my communicator was not working. Eventually, it did work, and it asked me many questions and then tortured me because I did not have the answers. I managed to escape by utilizing my local teleporter. But now I'm stuck here, and I need some additional materials to repair my teleporter so that I can return. Are you? And why are you here?
We want to close a portal with your non-artifacts.
Why do you want to close this portal?
Because there are demons coming out of it, and we want to stop them. And thereby stop the black mold. Yay!
I do not know about this black mold, and I do not know what you refer to as demons. Are they another species?
Well, they cause harm to the world and destruction. And yeah. So we want to save the world by closing this portal.
Where is this portal?
In Menzoberranzan, I believe.
I believe that is the city where I appeared.
What type of materials would you need?
And he keeps his eye on you, both eyes, but then he shows you what he's holding. I am not the only one who was brought through accidentally. Several others came with me and they have disappeared. Each of us has various components. We can rebuild the portal if we are reconnected to each other, or if we can scavenge some of the other tools and weapons we had with us. These, or someone like me.
I think I've seen a device like that before, or a similar one. We had one. I think it broke.
Do the rest of you guys want to do anything? Daria, does Denise want to do anything?
No.
Hiding in the corner?
Yeah.
Okay. Sophie,
Um,
does Charlotte want?
Oh,
Sorry,
go ahead.
Yvonne. Yeah, go
No,
ahead,
no.
Yvonne.
Okay, I'm gonna move up. I'm gonna come around the corner very carefully and just stand down here.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay. Still holding your axe, your big ass axe out in the way in front of you.
yeah, and just sort of like show that I'm not going to attack, but just I want to yell at Byleth because I'm assuming she can't hear me from here. Do we have that still in our bag? And that's all I'm gonna do.
Okay. Before we do Laura again, Henrietta, does Delin want to do something?
I am just going to look out from behind the pillar and just give Violet the thumbs up and say, "You're doing great."
Thank you.
Go back to him.
Very good. Okay. And Sophie, how does the bully of the group feel about all this?
She's not a bully. Yes, she has no idea what's going on, but she'll just stand by here by the entrance to make sure that they're not interrupted by anyone, any creature.
Okay. Okay.
And she'll pull out her dagger as well, just in case.
The poke in the back in case she doesn't do enough.
Yes.
Walk the plank. Oh, all right. Okay. All right, Laura. So back to Byleth.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't know who had this device, but we found one. I think we found two, actually.
May I see it?
Yeah. I personally, I personally don't have it on me. Maybe somebody else in the party has it.
Bring it forward.
Does anybody else have it?
Dylan had it.
Cracker.
But I think we might have left it at that place. Remember, we gave it to those people and they were supposed to fix it, and I don't even know if we picked it up.
But I thought we had two.
Yeah, but I think we left it there to get fixed. It's in the shop.
In that one shop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can maybe get it back. Do you need all of them?
Each one has its power source. I can use those.
Mm,
Come
okay.
out of hiding, all of you.
Fine.
Does Delin give the defensive towers a kick as she walks past it?
Yeah.
Like when you stub your toe on a piece of furniture and you blame the furniture.
hmm
I do that all the time.
Yeah. It's always the furniture's fault.
It just jumped out of nowhere.
Yeah.
What are all of your names?
I'm Byleth.
Zenith.
Dylan.
Cracker.
Wait, what did it say?
It asked for your names.
Do we understand that?
Yeah. It's speaking through it. Sometimes it makes noises that none of you understand. And then the other times it's speaking in whatever language Byleth started with, which presumably was common.
Okay. My name's Charlotte.
I am Ralachululu.
Can we call you Lulu?
No, that was my father.
Can we call you Lulu Junior?
No need to be so formal. My friends just call me Ralachululu Hasinfululu.
Go Lulu.
Bless you.
Okay. Well, we were actually hoping that you could help us to get into a tower in Mensberenzen and maybe out.
I was brought through a magical portal. It seems that there is a certain type of energy manipulation on this plane. I met someone else, another creature similar to you. It seemed able to manipulate this energy. And the one that brought me through also seemed to manipulate this energy. But ours is not based on that energy pattern. So, yes, I could theoretically teleport into and out of these fields without interference, but I lack the power source.
And to get the power source, you need the weapons. Huh. You know
My
that these.
traveling companions also had other devices that are not weapons. All of our devices are powered by the same power source type.
Okay.
Where
Well,
did
you
you
know-
find the other members of my race?
Well, we didn't find one alive, but we found one dead inside a purple worm.
Is that what you call it?
Well, if it's purple and if it looks like a worm, yes.
We also called it a purple worm, but it is interesting that you literally call it a purple worm.
Oh, it's purple and it's a worm. So that's the name.
That is scientifically logical.
Yeah.
Please put down your weapon.
I don't have a weapon.
He's pointing at Cracker, who's holding her axe out like it's a weapon. Because it is a
Alright.
weapon.
At ease.
At ease, soldier. I am going to take one of the cards. Well, the card that I found on the alien and just say, what is this? We found this on your companion or friend or
Toss it over.
okay. I'm gonna toss it over.
It without releasing its hold on its weapon, which looks somewhat similar to the one that you found, it stoops down and picks it up. This is a passcode card. It unlocks various things. This belonged to my colleague.
Huh.
It can be used for both doors as well as for storage devices and accessing certain data banks. It is a personal identification card.
Huh. So it doesn't have a use here.
This can allow me access to certain higher level functions on some of our devices, which I am not authorized to use. So this is useful, but I still need a power source. Do
Well,
you
can
not
you-
have the weapon?
Can you help us?
My teleporter seems unaffected by this utilization of energies that your people seem to have access to. It works on physics. I simply teleport by staying stationary in accordance with star system. Most heavenly bodies rotate and move on their own by staying stationary in a bubble of space temporarily. I move simply by staying there while the heavenly body moves underneath or around me. So I can get into or out of most places, but I need a power source. You said you found several weapons.
Can you take more than one on your teleporter thing?
It has a maximum capacity of 5 tons.
Huh.
We use it to transport cargo.
Will you help us if we help you?
This violates the principle of non-interference.
Well, we do you a favor, you do us a favor.
Roll persuasion.
I don't have the freaking spell on me. You were supposed to do the talking, Violet.
I also said that. I said exactly that.
Yeah, but you have to like kind of work up to it, right? It's like, hey, you complete stranger, I'm asking you to break all your personal vows to do me a favor. Little bit different, right?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I am going to use my inspiration.
Okay.
15.
Wow, now that's a good use of inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
We have been observing the disruption across planes of existence happening with the nexus point in this area. It is our belief that left unchecked, this could create a multi-planar disruption and potentially destroy several planes of existence. If you can help me return to my plane, or at least a connecting plane adjacent to my plane, I will report this to our elders, and they will decide whether or not this constitutes self-preservation, which we are allowed to use.
So, what are you saying, or maybe? Well,
If you can get me to the astral plane that connects my plane, and I would be able to contact my people.
okay. Huddle, guys. Come on, huddle.
I think Henrietta's asking for everybody to get closer.
Mm-hmm. In a huddle.
Did Zanice just step on Charlotte's foot?
Revenge.
Revenge. Every little slight is a catty deliberate.
Don't mess with Byleth.
Ah,
I didn't do anything.
my personal bodyguard will come for
I
you.
heard your thoughts.
This is like when you wake up and you ask your partner if they had a good sleep, and they're like really mad at you because in their dreams you did something that offended them, and then they hold it against you all day, and you're like, I didn't do that. That was your dream. They're like, just say sorry, would you? Just say sorry, and we'll move past it. And for peace, you just say sorry, even though you had absolutely nothing to do with it. Yeah, poor Sophie. Ugh. Racked with guilt. All right, you guys are in a huddle-ish.
Uh-huh. And I'm going to whisper. So should we give him the weapon thing that we found? And hope that he helps us?
I think it's the only thing we can really do.
Yeah.
Peaceful resolution.
Yeah. And I don't think it will help if we try to steal anything because his teleporter doesn't work. And I don't know how to fix it, so just
Okay.
trust that.
Yeah. There
he will
is
keep
also
his
the
word.
other option.
Kill him?
Well, there's another option besides that. You know some people who live on the astral plane.
I do. But I have no idea how to contact anyone.
No, not you specifically, your whole group.
Yeah, but we don't know how to contact them.
Right.
Sending stones or
I didn't get a sending stone from them. How should we contact the Githyanki? I have no idea.
Yankee, come here.
Yeah.
And boom, portal.
And I don't think they're at Graven Hollow anymore. There might be some left here to do their thing to try and kill some mind flayers, but we have no idea where there are.
Maybe if we hold hands, walk in a circle, and think of them really vividly, then they will come to us.
We can try.
And
That's my only idea.
Okay. We could try. They're psychic, so maybe.
okay, let's do it.
okay.
Okay.
That's so us. Suddenly just holding hands and walking in a circle.
Hoping for the best.
Yeah.
La, la, la.
La la la.
Githyanki, come to us.
Is that really what you guys are doing?
I don't know. I'm really concentrating on the memory of that sword. And I'm like, there's got to be some sort of echo in that sword. Maybe, in the fights that we had together, maybe it loved me too. And, I'm just going to think about it, really focus on that.
Okay.
Come back to me, sword. Come back.
Yeah, if you can put that to the tune of Kumbaya, I will definitely let you roll for it.
Come back to me, oh fancy sword. Come back to me, oh fancy sword. Oh,
Amazing.
come back to me. I loved you so much. You and I are good at killing stuff.
Go ahead and,
That's
I
great.
don't know, roll performance or whatever you think would work.
Persuasion.
That
I'm
is
trying to
awesome.
persuade it to come back, right?
Okay, all right.
Oh my.
How's that? 15?
Oh my.
Hey, dude.
And he looks like he's got something in his, like a little stick in his mouth, and his mouth is covered in foam, and he's wearing like a long tattered robe, and he just looks at all of you like, and he takes the stick out of his mouth, and he's got foam in his mouth, and he just talks through the foam and liquid that's dripping out. What did you want? I was about to go take a long rest. And he wipes his face.
Yeah, I haven't
Well,
didn't think it
go
would
ahead.
work, but we need help with this guy, and I'm going to point at the alien.
The Relachilulu is surprised that something has just sort of popped up. The Githyanki looks at all of you and says, "We don't know that particular group, but if you have something useful, we'll consider it."
What did you have in mind?
You know what we want.
Oh, for fuck's sake. You are such blackmailers.
And
Well,
he puts the stick back in his mouth and continues moving it up and down, making a little swishing sound as he's doing it.
Lulu, this is well, I don't know his name, but this is a Githyanki, and they are from the astral plane. And he might be able to help you, but he requires something in return. And I don't have a mind flayer in my bag.
The Githyanki looks at you and says, "Do you have anything else you can trade?"
Like what?
Well, it's unlikely, but we do still need the body of a dead god.
Well, that doesn't seem like a fair trade, does it?
You interrupted my nighttime ritual for this.
Well, if I give you a body of a god, a dead god, you get a home. What do I get in return? It's not a fair deal, is it?
And he takes a chain, one of these beautiful gold chains, off of his neck, and he offers it to you. This will summon a platoon of Gith warriors. They will help you once of need.
Well,
They can fight for you, and they can transport you out if you are in danger and being attacked and at risk of being overwhelmed. They will lay down their lives to honor this pact.
that's better. So, Lulu, what do you need of this guy? be exact.
Moving us to the astral plane would help.
And would you come back?
I would need 2 cycles of your heavenly body's rotation. Once
Okay.
I'm in the astral plane, the limited power I have at my disposal will allow me to transport and teleport to my own plane. There, I would need to speak to someone, but once I am there, I can come back directly
Oh.
without traversing the astral plane again.
Okay. So come back here, or do we need to
Yes.
stay here and wait for you?
We can agree to meet here or another location that is secure, but I should not be interfering with local matters until we are certain that this is a broader issue.
Okay. Well, does this seem like a fair deal to you? And I look at the Githyanki.
You can give us the body of a dead god?
I might.
And he holds the chain out.
And I look at the group.
I nod. Mm-hmm.
Like platoon of Gith warriors? Yes, please.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I can't give you the body, but I can give you the location of a body.
If the location proves and true and the body is recoverable, we will have a deal. If not, that platoon will come back for you.
Here?
It will find you wherever you are. No one crosses the Gith. Just ask the Illithid. It took millennia, but we finally did achieve our freedom and revenge.
I'm not going to double cross you.
I'm not saying you would be so foolish as to do that twice.
Just borrowed it.
Well, do you promise to uphold?
I love Cracker just borrowed it. Like, geez, chill out,
Gee.
dude.
Do you promise to come back here if you find the body?
If we find the body, you won't see us until you call us for help. If
The
we
bottom
don't
line.
find the body, trust me, you'll know it.
Okay, but will you help Lulu now?
Yes,
Okay.
Lulu. I told you that's not my name, that's my father's name.
Yeah, but I can't pronounce your whole name, so Lulu have to do.
I can go back now and bring it with me.
You okay with that, Lulu?
I am conflicted. Handing over the body of a dead god sounds like interference, but I cannot prove that this is the case.
You're not handing it over. I am.
And he looks at you and seems to type something into a little pad that he has hidden behind him. And make this logical argument that I am completely devoid of any responsibility. Deal accepted.
Okay. So listen up. You can find the body of Lol's child in Lol's temple underneath, and I'm going to explain where it is, the temple.
Right. Because it was found in Neverwinter Wood, wasn't it?
Yeah. I was going to say Chult, but that was the portal.
No, that's definitely not right. Yeah.
Oh.
Very good.
and just explain to him the room that we found it and where it's buried, and also mention that it doesn't have a head and where the head is.
This is acceptable. Remember, if this does not work, we shall be taking payment.
Okay.
And he points to Relachid Lulu, who acknowledges, and they meet together. And they both turn and look at the rest of you. And the Gith waves a hand and snaps a finger, and they disappear.
Okay.
I have a feeling that's going to come back and bite me in the ass.
Yeah, but that's the
Maybe.
best place to bite you.
Yeah.
And on that note, I will see you all next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Lol's
Thank-
gonna hate me.
Maybe.
But, you know, it's a dead baby, right? So Zanice is pretty happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh.
Funny.
And in the meantime, you guys can all think of ways to punish each other while you sleep for your little micro transgressions against each other during the waking hours of adventuring.
Sounds great.
Why are you pitting us against each other, you evil DM?
True.
I
true.
know, it's horrible, isn't it? But it's so much fun. And I do actually have a rule against player versus player combat, but unless I authorize it. And I don't know, it seems like it's a good fun thing to do, you know? Okay, I know. I'll see you guys all next year. Have a wonderful New Year's
Yeah.
tonight, New Year's party and everything. Sometime between tonight and next Sunday, after you guys have presumably sobered up or gotten over whatever it is you're going to do tonight. For those of you who need to do a little refreshing of your character's abilities, please do so. Don't let me ask you again, please. Or you might suddenly start to find that you're growing, I don't know, weird moles all over your face.
Oh, no.
You gonna
In real
hex
life.
us?
Yes, exactly. I'm going to start drawing a pentagram right now, and I'm going to sacrifice my dog.
Oh,
No.
Dog.
No, I'm not going to do. Yeah, there you go. So, okay, so good. I will see you guys next week. All right.
Yes.
All
Okay,
right.
Happy New Year.
Happy
Excellent.
New
Happy
Year.
New Year.
Happy
Happy
New
New
Year.
Year. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.